Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fetch Quest podcast, where we talk about video games and more. I am joined by my fellow co-host Brewer
Hey, everybody.
and Connor.
Hello.
If you guys couldn't tell by our little intro today, we're going to be talking about Undertale.
Ooh.
Whee!
Yes,
I'm so happy.
today's going to be a very special episode because this is a very special game to all of us.
Oh, yeah.
This is true. I'm actually really happy about this because, like, for a while, this was like considered my favorite indie game. There are a few games that I think are a little better and I just like favor more. But yeah, no, this is a very special game for me, and I'm so glad we get to talk about it today.
Yeah, it's a game that, like, just took the internet by storm back in the day, too, because I remember you couldn't go anywhere without seeing someone mention Undertale. Because it just
that's
blew
real.
up.
Yeah, it was incredibly popular. I think a big reason is just because of how different it was than most video games at the time.
That is true. I think a lot of it has to deal with like just the game conceptually. It's just really interesting.
Yeah.
Because like for a quick synopsis of Undertale, for those who don't know, it is an RPG where you play as a human who has to fight monsters. Except the difference with this one, you don't always have to fight them. You can actually talk to them and choose to spare them if you wish. And from such a simple concept leads into such an amazingly like magical little game that I love dearly.
Yeah. I think part of the reason it blew up so much as well is because, for one, it's really cheap, so a lot of people had access to it. Two, it's also a small game. It should not take you long to beat Undertale, even if you're trying to go for like one of the hard-leaning like pacifist or genocide endings. Like, what do you guys say, like 5-6 hours? I think my pacifist route took me like maybe 5 hours or something.
Yeah, it's not super long. It differs for.
Yeah, it's long if you try to get
others.
like a bunch of different routes in it.
Yeah, and there's also just a bunch of secrets and stuff you can find, but it's not very long at all.
Yeah, I think that, along with its like very charming writing and catchy music, is just like it hooked everyone. It got a big hook in everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, immediately. Not only that, but like YouTubers were playing it like crazy back in like early 2016. Which, dude,
Yeah.
the Jacksepticeye, oh my god.
Yeah, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier.
Them playing it was such a... Well, did Markiplier ever play it?
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, he has
Jacksepticeye did.
7 videos on it.
Damn, that's crazy.
I
Jacksepticeye...
remember Jacksepticeye's the most because he had some special thumbnails for it.
Yeah.
That he did. That dude, that was such a good
Yeah,
time in my life.
he had 14 videos on Undertale.
Dude, that's goated. Dude, that's actually amazing. Yeah, no, that series like that, like honestly, like helped like get me into this into Undertale like very much.
Yeah, Undertale has had very big impacts on, like, I'd say all of us as well, because, like, I'll be honest, if I hadn't, like, I didn't play Undertale, for a while, because I had seen so many, like, YouTube videos on it, but if I hadn't watched those YouTube videos, like, discovered Undertale when I was a lot younger, I definitely wouldn't have, gotten as into, like, the indie game genre as I am now.
Yeah.
Honestly, that goes for me as well, because like it was just a really big like introduction into indie games. Like I wasn't able to play it first because I didn't have a PC, but from watching it from like so many YouTubers, that really like got me into it, like into indie games as like a concept.
Yeah, I do wish I could have gotten into Undertale unspoiled, because I feel like for a lot of people it's just hard to, because so many people were talking about the game, but also all the spoilers about the game.
Yeah.
Especially the like one of the special routes.
I mean, yeah, and it sucks too, because one of the, like, most well-known things about this game is literally, like, a spoiler for one of the route endings.
Yeah.
It's hard, because, like, Undertale, I mean, at this... Okay, I'm gonna avoid making a joke. I was gonna make a bad joke, but it's fine. I was gonna say, by a certain person we know's logic, it's perfectly fine to spoil it now.
Oh God,
Oh
that's
yeah,
that's for a different
yeah.
time.
Our good friend who spoiled the finale of Devil May Cry 5 for me.
Crazy, crazy work.
Yeah,
But
but
I subject them to having to scroll through 20 pages of pregnant Sans art.
oh Jesus, yeah, there's definitely enough for
awesome.
that. But I think a big reason why this game got really popular is due to like just the quality of it, because like every I'll say every aspect of this game oozes like quality, care, craftsmanship, love, and just like a general like just good, just like general understanding of how to make a great game.
Yeah. Well, I think the funny thing too is like this is probably one of those games for the most part you can say was like put together with like duct tape and love because like Toby Fox is self-admitted like yeah I don't know how to program shit.
Yeah, and it's really funny.
Yeah, that and the art for Undertale like it's pretty charming, but it is a bit rough in some areas, especially if you look at like some of the pixel art for even like Deltarune Chapter 1, you can see like a big step up. Because
Oh,
I think in an interview he said like the artist that worked with him, Temmie, he had to tell them that like, hey, we got to make a couple of these look worse to fit the game.
yeah, no, because that's something I really love about like just like Toby Fox as a creator when it comes to like creating games is like he's not obsessed with like making the most visually like impressive or like stuff like that. Like if something looks like one of my favorite examples of it is like in the final boss arenas in the first two chapters of Deltarune. There are like just random dead pixels, like black dots, just randomly in the arenas, and it even though it's gotten re-released and updated like so many times, they never fix it. And I think that's just so funny.
I just like how much of a shit poster he is.
Yes,
Especially because like when he was making the PlayStation version of Undertale, there's like a requirement for there to be trophies. So what he did is the trophies isn't for anything like oh you fought Papyrus, oh you got to this area of the game and got this ending. No, the trophy is if you go to this like trophy donation room and you donate in-game money, then you keep getting like little funny things to fill up the room, and that's all where all the trophies are.
yeah, it's amazing. It's not that similar to Deltarune's trophy system, but we can talk about that another day.
Yeah.
But
He's a shit poster through and through. It's
yeah,
very funny.
but something I think we should like talk about is like the gameplay of this game, because I think that is probably one of the most recognizable parts of this game is just like how the gameplay functions and how
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah,
'Cause it's very
especially
unique.
its combat.
Yeah, its combat is very unique.
It's so good.
Yeah, because like it's really
It makes each encounter just feel unique, even though it's the same battle system, because of the ways you have to dodge the different attacks, and also how they actually come out and show the character's personalities, even like a basic enemy.
yeah.
Because there's a fight like this is a very well-known thing. Like there's a bunch of dog enemies in the game, and you get a bunch of special interactions if you just like pet the dogs. And you can pet one enough times to where it extends to the end of the universe.
Yeah, its head will keep growing every time you pet it, and then it'll eventually just like keep looping around the screen and stuff like that. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But like that's something I love about Undertale's gameplay is that as you said, every interaction, even with like super lesser enemies, feels unique because they each have their own special attack animations and special like things you can do to like spare them and stuff like that. And as guys said at the beginning, you don't have to fight the monsters. In fact, they very like one of the most I guess like iconic parts of Deltarune, or not Deltarune, Undertale's combat system is the fact that you are able to act towards like enemies and do things like either flirt with them, or as Brewer said, for the dog enemies you can pet them and stuff like that. And if you do like either the correct action or enough of these actions, you can then spare, um, or like I think it's mercy. You can like
Yeah, well, the option is mercy, and then you select the option to spare, if I remember correctly.
yeah, it's something like that, and then you can spare them and stuff.
Yeah, because a couple enemies in the game, all the acting doesn't really do anything, so you just have to keep pressing the mercy button to try and pacify them.
Yeah, but and also like just coupling that with like the art and like the incredible humor and writing of the game, it really does, like every interaction feels like a treat, and it's great.
Yeah. No, I do like just how charming it is, especially with jokes, because like one of the boss fights with Papyrus, he uses bones to attack. So when he tries to hit you with one bone attack, there's a dog that took away his special
It's
attack
special
because
attack.
it was chewing the bone, and he starts arguing with the dog.
It's so funny.
Yeah, that's it. Really is just like it. I will say, I feel like even today, its humor is just unmatched, and um, like it. I mean, that's really all I can say is that it's just got really great humor that like I think holds up really well today. One
That
Oh
of
is
yeah.
true.
my
The game has aged really well, like, actually.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts of the game is when you go back. Like this is I'm pretty sure like either neutral or pacifist route, but you can go back and you can just have a like a sort of like date simulator with Papyrus, and it's really funny.
Oh yeah, no, that that part's funny.
Yeah, and
Dude,
that
oh
has
my
like
god, I
a
completely forgot about that. And that's needed for the true ending. Oh my god.
Papyrus is probably one of my favorite characters. He's just so lovable,
honestly, do
lovable
we?
Unreal.
dork.
Yeah, honestly, we could probably transition into like characters and stuff now, because like this game has
Low-key,
probably
yeah.
this game has an incredible cast of
Yeah,
characters.
when we talk about some bosses later and potentially some spoiler ones, even though okay, yeah, everyone's been spoiled on it. We could talk more about some of the more advanced stuff with the combat later.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but the characters, woo.
The characters! It's all about the characters.
Unironically, yes, that's one of the big selling points of Undertale, is just how well written the characters are.
No,
It's a
Also,
very
real.
likable cast.
yeah. Now, do we all? What did you say, guy? Because I didn't catch what you said.
I was gonna say, unironically, like the thing that I kept coming back for with Undertale, like the number one thing, of course, being the characters.
Yeah, 100%. Who's our favorite character? Like, what's your guys' favorite character?
Oh, Undyne's up there. I also like Flowey a lot.
Yeah, I think I said mine already. Just like Papyrus. He's just a lovable dork.
Papyrus is the goat, man.
Oh yeah, mine might be a little unconventional, um, but I think my favorite character is probably
Metatron.
no, it is not Metaton. It is Asgore. I I think he is a character that has a lot of depth, and just there's just a lot to him, and I really love the presentation of the character and how, like, if you go through like all the lore and all the backstory and all the stuff like that, you learn a lot about Asgore, and I think he's just an incredible character, even though he's got very little screen time.
Yeah, yeah. There's a
kinda like
lot
that.
to like about him.
Yeah,
Yeah, you first word. Sorry, so sorry.
I was just saying there's a lot to like about him.
yeah, and he also has, in my opinion, one of the best tracks in the game.
Oh yeah, I feel like part of the thing that makes a lot of the characters so memorable is the tracks that go along with them.
Yeah, and we'll discuss music in its own section later, because trust me, you cannot talk about this game without discussing its music. Um, but yeah, no, it's just he a lot of the themes are very much tied to the characters, and they can really help you. Um, like they can further your liking of them. I guess I'll say.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
No, for sure, for sure.
Um, I guess like well, since I explained like why I like Asgore so much, why do you guys like your favorite character so much?
Funny Bone Man.
That is
He is
true.
funny.
Like I mentioned before, his fight is just funny, especially because a lot of times he'll be trying to do some big special attack and then boom, the dog takes it away. But also when he first meets you and he's trying to like be a part of the night, so he's trying to capture you. Like the way his all of its attempts just like keep failing. Because I think one of Toby's better jokes was when Papyrus is like explaining this elaborate puzzle maker. It was like, okay, if you step on the yellow tile, you smell like lemons. And if you step on a blue tile, there's piranhas, but you'll be safe from the piranhas if you smell like lemons. You can't step on red tiles. Pink tiles are good. Purple tiles make you smell like oranges. But then after all that buildup of explaining that elaborate trap, the trap just makes it to into a like straight path. Papyrus doesn't say anything. He just spins away.
It really is just a perfectly executed joke. And my favorite part about that is that it also acts as foreshadowing for a future segment where you actually legitimately have to try and cross the like puzzle path.
Yeah, the puzzle. But by that point, you don't even remember the rules. Not to mention the rules are so ridiculous that
It wouldn't make any sense.
yeah, I mean, there is a way to like get through that puzzle, but like no one's gonna do it on their first try.
Yeah. And I think it's a really good
Yeah, I do know you get some special dialogue if you do it though.
yeah. I mean, you get special dialogue for almost anything in this game, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of secrets.
I was about to say, there's actually like for a game that only takes you like 6 hours at max to beat, like there's honestly a lot to like take in with this game in terms of like secrets and just like extra dialogue. It's such a well thought out game, which like you don't really see from like something of like this level.
Yeah. Well, also like I know it's easy to just think there's three endings because there's okay you accidentally killed like two enemies when you didn't know what you were doing. You get neutral ending now. You didn't kill any enemies. You were a good boy. Pacifist ending, or okay, you're a monster. You killed everyone. Genocide ending. But
Yeah.
there is more to like the neutral endings, depending on like what exactly you do. Because one of the characters that will like gives you an evaluation at the end of the game will have different dialogue depending on like some specific actions you did in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know the total number. I think there's over like 20 special endings if you count like a bunch of those different neutral routes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which is it's just kind of crazy to think that he took the time to really make all that.
Yeah, but
And
like
no,
that's part of the at least
first,
in my opinion, that's part of the charm of Undertale is like there's just so much little care to the details and stuff like that. Like for example, in like this is a very iconic example of like one of the first meetings with Flowey is that I can't remember how exactly it is, but if you are like I think that it can tell if you're like recording. It'll like Flower will have special dialogue if you're recording for like YouTubers and stuff like that about like how there are a bunch of people watching you do the terrible things you do or the
wait,
things you do.
real?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's real.
Wait, that's cool.
Yeah, no, that like there's a lot of stuff like that. Like and another example, again with the first, I think it's the second meeting with Flowey. Um, if you kill a certain NPC and then a big part about this game we should mention is the uh save point and reset system. And the game will and can and will call you out for like resetting and stuff like that. And in one of the meetings with Flowey, if you kill a certain NPC, reset and then spare that NPC and then go to the meeting, Flowey will call you out on it.
Hey, you can't do that. You breaking the rules.
Yeah, something similar to that. Again, it's been a while, but I just love all the small attention to detail that this game has.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
definitely.
it's actually like unreal just how much there is. Because like, dude, again, Flowey calls you out if you're like cheating or some shit. Like that's crazy. Like what game has that?
Very few.
One shot. Go watch
Yeah,
our episode on it.
yeah. I was gonna say that, like I can really only think of one shot.
Yeah, Undertale is definitely the game that popularized fourth wall breaking the most, I think. The only other game that I can think that came close to it was Doki Doki Literature Club. But there were some niche titles that like kind of pioneered it. One shot being one of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're forgetting Deadpool the video game for
Okay,
Xbox
moving
360.
on from that sentence, that jumble of words that came out of guy's mouth. Let's talk more about characters and stuff. Yay!
Yeah. Guy, all I have to say is that I think you're being a bit of a Jerry right now.
Are you making a Rick and Morty reference
No,
during the
I'm making
what?
I'm making an Undertale reference.
Okay, I'm gonna be so real. I don't know. I forgot what that means. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
There is an NPC in the game called Jerry, and his whole thing is that he's very awkward and nobody likes him.
That's really funny. Oh shit.
Really funny, but feels kind of mean.
That is
Here's this
mean,
guy.
but also really funny.
Here's this guy that everybody hates. Why do they hate him? I don't know. I hate him too.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
All my homies hate Jerry.
yeah, it's
No, I'm gonna be
really
real, guy. Though I didn't know what Connor was talking about either. I thought the same thing. It's like, dude, are you really doing a Rick and Morty reference of all things?
no.
Yeah,
I thought you
because
were-
Jerry and Rick
I
and
thought you
Morty
were-
is like everyone hates him. Like for
I thought you were
literally
better than
doing
that.
nothing.
I think it's just a rule in any medium of storytelling that if you have a character named Jerry, everyone has to hate them.
I'm gonna make a game, and then I'm gonna make a guy named Jerry in it that everybody hates.
We have to keep the tradition going.
Keep the tradition going. This is Jerry.
Oh.
No one likes him. He's a prick.
That's really funny. Oh
Jerry
my God.
doesn't help with the dishes.
Jerry's wife took the kids.
Jerry
Uh.
pirates a bunch of indie games.
Okay, getting away from that. What were we talking about before we went on the rant about Jerry?
Characters. I
We
thought.
were yeah, because you haven't explained why you like Flowey and I can't remember who you said your other favorite was. I think it was Undyne.
Probably Undyne.
And maybe explain Undyne because Folly does have some spoilery stuff to it.
Yeah, I'll be careful of that.
Yeah, that we did explain a lot of the appeal with Flowey, like noticing you saving and stuff.
Yeah,
I'll say this with Undyne, I really like Undyne like being built up as like this really strong warrior character and like someone to take serious. And then like you meet Undyne and she is just like as much as a goofball as everyone else. Like yeah, she's extreme, but she's extreme in all the right ways.
yeah, no, that's something I like too. That's like part of one of my favorite things about Undyne as a whole as well. Is like she can be very serious and stuff like that, but once you actually get to know her, she is just an extreme goofball.
Yeah, then she's trying to flirt with Alphys by saying, "Yes, Alphys, anime is real." But yeah,
I love that scene.
That's an actual line in the game too.
It's so good. Don't forget, what's it called? The date that you have with Undyne and how awkward it is because she tries to cook for you and it just fucking sucks.
Yeah,
Frisk, don't come to the castle. I've
I mean,
made
she
that dog
literally-
shit ass cake.
she literally like blows up her entire house.
That shit is so funny.
Imagine,
And she
imagine
thinks
you
it's
ask,
nothing,
you
which is crazy.
imagine you ask her to use an air fryer and then she burns herself.
Clearly, you don't, clearly you don't own an air fryer.
Undyne, I don't think you own an air fryer.
Yeah. But I think we've been going on about characters a little bit. Do we want to talk about the arguably one of the other most iconic and whether or not you think it's famous or infamous, the lore and story of this game.
I think the lore should be discovered for yourself. So I really don't want. I personally, I don't want to get into it, but I would love to talk about the story.
Oh, that's a
What,
shame. I was
what do you
really
guys think?
wanting to go into the lore a bit, but if we want to just keep the story, that's fine.
We would be here for 10
Dog, I am
hours.
not going to
Connor.
explain WD Gaster to someone who's never heard of an Undertale.
Fine.
Look, guys, it's Kara. It's a person with green shirt. Ooh. Green
my
shirt
God. But yeah.
person.
But yeah, no. Like getting into like story, it's a really simple story. Like you play as a human who gets launched down a hole, where the monsters are, and you have to go and get out. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a really good plot summary.
Yeah, I think it all works because even though it's short and simple, the characters are just charming, or like they're so charming that you can just ignore a lot of that.
If you think about it, it's a lot like the Minecraft movie.
It's like the Minecraft movie? How?
Because you go into another plane where there are
Wait, you're right! It is the Minecraft movie! Oh my god, you're so right.
I don't know. I don't remember the villain of Undertale going like, guys, they told me that I can't be creative and make things, so now I'm just gonna destroy everything.
That's Papyrus's dark route.
They told me I can't be a baller and play basketball, so I deflated all the basketballs.
They said my spaghetti sucked, so I got rid of all the food.
I used a blow dryer to harden all the spaghetti back. Actually, no, I could see him doing that.
He would probably do that, like unironically.
You know what, man? Fuck you. Re-hardens your spaghetti.
But yeah, no, it does have a very simple plot. It really where a lot of like I would say the more interesting
Juicy stuff.
like interesting juicy stuff lies in like a secret hunting and lore finding.
Well, I think also in just like how invested you feel as a player.
Yeah.
Just because of player choice, because that's a very important part of the game. It's just your choices, and like they matter.
Yeah, I will
Like,
say
even down to the biggest concept, which was like again, it's something we're used to now, but back then it was crazy. Just you don't have to fight these guys; you can make friends with them.
Yeah, it was a very unique and interesting concept for the time.
Yeah.
Something I really wish we could get into, but it's very spoilery. But it does have to deal with the story.
Don't do it, Connor.
I'm not. Trust me, I love this game, and like if I can keep as many people unspoiled as possible, I will definitely.
Yeah. Again, very unlikely that anyone watching this hasn't been spoiled already, but we will do our best.
Yeah. That being said, if you haven't played this game and haven't been spoiled by some miracle of God, please go play the game.
Yeah.
Actually, good on you for not being spoiled. That's hard to do.
Especially if you are associated with a certain friend of ours.
We gotta explain that. I'm sorry. There's no way we can't explain that.
A friend? No, it's just simple explanation. Friend who decided to very vocally spoil Devil May Cry 5 and be a prick about it. Which because of that,
who plays Devil May Cry for the story?
He is now being subjected to 20 pages of pregnant Sans, and I've made sure to stitch his eyelids open so he can't look away.
Good. As it should be.
He's in the torture chair.
Yeah. It's really funny too because like the logic behind it was just so bad.
It was bad. Like it
Bro was not cooking.
His logic was like basically no one cares about the story, so why do y'all care?
Well, it was also
well, is it funny too? Because like he said it literally to a whole group of people that did care about the story.
And also, well,
literally.
Yeah, because like he said it, he pinged Liam as well, and Liam is literally trying to play through all the Devil May Cries in order, to make sure he understands the story better.
It was also a thing of like because of how old it was and stuff. Like because the game was only a few years old, it didn't matter.
Dude, I see people go out of their way to not spoil Final Fantasy VII. That game's old as balls.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying the logic was bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Either way, to any person watching, please don't be a prick and spoil things for your friend. If it happens by accident, like you just quick mention, then yeah, that's understandable. But don't like spoil it
Don't be a dickhead,
and then not say my bad. Yeah, moving on from that, I think we can move on to something that's not as spoilery, especially because even if you haven't played the game, you have most definitely heard at least a little bit of the soundtrack, especially because so many YouTubers like us use it as you're listening to a song right now from Undertale.
You know what's gonna be funny?
Thank you, Toby, for making all this DRM free.
You know what? I think I'm gonna include a check not from Undertale specifically in this part, just so that statement doesn't work anymore.
It's from Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
So
I'll play Virgil's theme.
Actually, no, that'd probably get copyright strikes, so don't.
We'll play the kazoo version.
We'll figure something out. Specifically, just for 2 minutes into recording.
For like 5 seconds, I'll play a completely different song.
Please.
Man.
But yeah, no, the soundtrack, like there are a lot of parts of Undertale that I'd say are iconic. I struggle to find something that could like truly be defined as like as iconic as the soundtrack. Because like
It's so catchy.
it's not
Really
just like
is.
catchy, it's just incredible like music, just incredible music as a whole. Because I'll say I'm gonna go on a bit of a little tangent here, because Toby Fox is by far one of my favorite game creators, but he is by that 100% my favorite music composer, because the way he utilizes leitmotifs, and to quickly explain for those who might not know what a leitmotif is, it is essentially it is a thing you can do within music where you will sample a small recognizable section of another song and include that in a different song in order to like essentially for storytelling purposes. And Toby uses that in spades, and it is executed well every time.
Yeah.
My like one of my favorite examples is in Asgore's theme. There is a leitmotif of Toriel's theme, who is another NPC you'll meet very early into the game. In fact, I think it's like she's like the second important NPC you meet.
She
but-
is actually, yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
But her theme is, you can hear her leitmotif in Asgore's theme, and if you've played the game, you know very much why that is, and I think that's just really cool. Like really cool uses of music, and that happens throughout the entire game, by the way, and it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I will note one thing you mentioned with leitmotifs, but also another reason you'll hear it through some parts of the game is he does like to remix his songs a lot, even for very different characters. Because like Muppet's theme, like the Spider Girl, is also Napstablook's theme, but it's also the theme for like the exclusive Cat Girl thing boss fight in the Switch version of the game.
Yeah, Mad Mew Mew.
Mad Mew Mew.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you noticed it in your first playthrough, but you listen to all the songs, and it's like, dude, he's using the same song 3 times. I'm not gonna lie, they're all pretty fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm not complaining.
You first.
But yeah, no, it's I just love, and like it's really hard not to for me to get super deep into this because we'll be here forever. But like, I just absolutely, because I not only are they incredibly well made songs that are very catchy, very like serve the purpose and the role very well at the points in the story you're at, and just fit the characters very well, but they're also just really good pieces of storytelling.
Yeah, definitely. What's one of your favorite tracks, Connor?
Oh, mine by far is like, I know this is gonna again come off as like very like probably like unconventional. You know what? I'm gonna list my top five from like 5 to 1. So fifth favorite one is probably Spider Dance, which is Muffet's theme.
I do like that one a lot. It's very catchy.
Fourth is probably oh man, yeah, it's probably Bone Trousel, which is Papyrus's theme.
Bone Trousel is so good, dude.
It's a banger.
You want to know something funny about Bone Trousel?
What?
Recently, I don't know the full context for this, but in a game called Off, which I think partially inspired some elements.
Yes, I know what you're
Undertale.
talking about. I know.
Yeah, one of the boss fights got a remix by Toby Fox, and he had bits of Papyrus's song.
Yes, I heard about that. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I just imagine when he's doing that, when he did that, he was just like giggling and kicking his feet.
Toby Fox is a shit poster, so probably.
Yeah, 100%. But number 3 is probably Metal Crusher. I think that's what it's called. It's like Metaton's, one of Metaton's battle themes. 2, probably not shocking, is Megalovania, for obvious reasons. Yep. And then
yeah, I mean it's iconic, and hey, it's in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, how more iconic?
It's a part of gaming history.
Yeah, how more iconic can you get than being in literally Smash Brothers?
Along with Sans being in Smash, which people cared
That's
about
real.
more
That's
more
real.
than that than Terry getting in Smash, and Terry was a full character.
You know what's funny? Okay, Guy, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the reason that Sans got in is because Toby met Sakurai and beat him in Smash?
I actually don't know.
I don't remember the full story, but like Toby did meet Sakurai like in person. They obviously couldn't communicate because one speaks English, one speaks Japanese.
No. Toby speaks Japanese.
Yeah.
He speaks Japanese.
Yeah, that's why.
No,
No.
I'm pretty sure in that
Only
thing
the
he
ship
said.
poster, he speaks Japanese.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm pretty sure, like at least, but at the time when he met Sakurai, like it was stated that they couldn't really communicate with each other properly, so maybe he only knew like basic Japanese, but they were like kind of pointing into showing each other stuff like soundtracks and whatnot. I don't know the full story. That's we can go research that later after the episode.
Yeah, but
either way, this meeting with Sakurai led to Sans in Smash.
Yeah, but yeah, and I think that's just so funny. Honestly, like Megalovania's just got an incredibly in-depth history as a whole, from like its origins to
and Earthbound ROM hack.
Earthbound ROM. We're not gonna go too in depth.
Yeah, well, I was about to say because that one did not like age well.
Yes, but it is pretty fun.
It is pretty funny. And y'all gotta get your start somewhere.
Yeah, if you want to know more, look up at your own discretion.
It's not bad. It's not a bad mod pack. It's just that like the stuff said in there is not representative of Toby today. Let's just say that.
It's just a little controversial in some areas, but most people won't care.
Yeah, it's very funny, but it was a different time then. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
But my favorite track by far is definitely Asgore, which I'm pretty sure is that it's just called Asgore, which obviously is Asgore's theme.
Yes, it is.
I absolutely love Asgore's theme. I think it is a banger. I think it has some of the best storytelling within the song, and as much as I hate to admit it, it's also pretty funny because it is also the song that is Fingers in My Ass, the Fingers in My Ass song.
Oh yeah, no, that one's good.
Man. Okay,
Oh,
I guess I guess I'll mention my favorite track real quick, but the problem is I can't really say what it is because it's probably just like the final boss theme of the Pacifist route.
Oh, Hopes
You
and
can
Dreams.
say the name of it.
Okay, yeah, I could say the name. But at the very least, just like don't know how to describe it because I'm not a composer, but like it just makes you feel out there, but like inspired, but also just like you're kind of floating through space in some way.
Yeah, I understand.
No, I get that.
Yeah, like even
No,
though
that
there
song
is
is
a
magical.
full symphony
It
behind
really
it,
is.
it feels like a symphony is like building you up for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that one, but I also like all the ones Connor had as well. Spider Dance is really catchy. That I love Papyrus's theme.
Real.
Guy, what's your favorite track?
God. Okay. Okay. I'm saying I am solely saying this because the internet ruined the song for me. Megalovania is not on my top 5. I used to like that song.
That's crazy.
I used to like that song. Like I'm being so serious when I say that. I used to like that song a lot. I do not anymore. So it is not on my top 5. That's for sure. Hopes and Dreams is definitely up there. I think that is probably my number 2. And then my number 1 is probably we're gonna go with, I know I'm going all over the place here, but it'll make sense, don't worry. We're gonna go with probably Undyne's theme from the Genocide route.
Oh yeah, that is really good.
That is a good theme. I love it.
Yeah,
I just think like I had to listen to it a lot, you know, because that boss fight is not easy. But yeah, no, I think that one is amazing. I just love like the battle motif with it. I don't think there's really another song like it. Obviously you have Muffet's theme, which I think is like my number 3. Then you have Asgore at number 4, and then honestly, Bone Trazzle is number 5. But that song is so funny.
yeah.
It's perfect because it's really catchy, but it can also feel like kind of a shitposty song as well.
It is. I love it, man.
Ah man. All right, but I think with that being song, we've covered most of our topics. Do we want to start talking about some of the bosses?
Yes, and I think this would probably
Spoiler warning.
yeah, I was gonna say probably like
Yeah, we should do spoiler warning.
to do spoiler warning.
Yeah, because this is the last part of the episode, so if you guys did enjoy what we've talked about up until now, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. We appreciate you guys watching. But if you haven't played Undertale, we please advise you get the hell out right now and go play it, because dude, it's like literally $3 all the time.
And it's good.
Yeah, very good game.
So some would say it's all right.
Yeah, and won't take up much of your time. Again, it takes like 5 hours to beat, maybe. Give or take.
Real.
Alright, with that spoiler section in 3, 2, 1, boom.
Minecraft Steve is sans Undertale.
No, Connor, you forgot it's even better. It's Steven Universe.
Oh god, not that.
Guys,
Steven after not surviving.
Oh my.
Guys, no, you're all wrong. It's Ness from the FNAF movie.
I still can't believe they put the Nessa Sans meme in the fucking FNAF movie, man.
Oh, Matt Pat.
He's,
Never change.
Yes, never change. But I think I'd like to go more into the spoilery section of like, I guess since this is just a full spoiler section, I could talk about the thing I wanted to talk about earlier. I think it's really funny that the pacifist route has you go into like arguably the most fucked up and like dark area in the game.
Which is
True Lab.
Yeah. Yeah, True Lab is pretty good.
True Lab is a little fucked. Hey, but at least the things have a happy ending.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I was gonna say the more fucked up thing. I think you get this on any of the routes before you can fight the final boss. Though maybe not Genocide route because that one's different. Is Flowey's boss battle.
Flowey's boss. Yeah, you can't get Flowey's boss battle in Genocide, but every other route you.
Yeah, I think Pacifist and Neutral you get it.
You have to fight Flowey if you're doing Pacifist.
Yeah, which I didn't know because like I assumed if you did Pacifist route you wouldn't be fighting like Flowey's special form. But no, you fight it, and it's a crazy battle because it purposely tries to break all the norms of the game, then it uses like your save states against you as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like in this form, Flowey is doing essentially what you've been doing the entire game, and you can see how fucked it is.
Yeah, because Flyway just like kills you multiple times in a row and just keeps reloading the save to make you die.
Yeah, and then at the end he gets absolutely walloped by the other human souls.
The 6 human souls.
No, the souls. You're so.
The 7 evil X's. Oh wait, wrong series.
Wrong series, bro.
Yeah, but what's our favorite fights in the game? I want to know.
Okay,
this.
I look, the meme aside, the Sans fight's fucking amazing. I'm sorry.
It's a very good fight. I love it.
Yeah, well, especially just because of the way it like works against your expectations, and like Sans kind of just joking about it the whole time. Especially the beginning intro attack just kind of sets the tone for the fight.
Kind of
Yeah.
real.
I think it's really funny because it, as I think you were saying, Bruce, that it breaks all the norms and expectations of the fight. Because you have this person who, throughout the game, has been a pretty like jokey character, very jokey, lazy, and stuff like that. And then you fight him, and he's arguably, like, not even arguably, probably the hardest fight in the game.
Yeah, no, there's some challenging fights in the game, but he is the hardest fight.
And
Without a doubt, the hardest.
And the other thing is that he's technically the weakest in the game as well, because he only has
He only
one.
does 1 damage.
Yeah, and he also only has 1 HP. But the reason he's so tough is that he's the first guy to ever have the bright idea of just dodging the attacks.
Moving to the side, brilliant concept.
Yeah, a real innovator, that sans Undertale. But yeah, because he's dodging your attacks, and his attacks, while only doing 1 HP, don't give you invincibility frames. So they don't have invincibility frames, and they also sort of like, I guess like poison you would be a good term.
Yeah, if you get hit by one, you'll take 1 damage initially, and then they'll start draining some more of your HP.
Yeah, and so you lose a lot of HP fast if you don't have it down pat.
Yeah, well, not to mention as well, he does some other fourth wall stuff, because like during the fight, when you're selecting your options in the menu, like if you're trying to just heal, he'll be sticking little bones into the menu, so if you get hit by those, you'll still take damage, and it can kill you.
Yeah, it's really challenging, and it sort of turns not into a boss fight and more into an endurance test of like how far can you go and how far can he go.
Yeah, that's about the only benefit of the Sans fight versus the other fights is there is a set timer for it, like a set amount of actions before it all ends. Problem is that they're the hardest set of actions in the game to compete against.
Yeah,
Oh, without a doubt.
but that being said, I think it's the Sans fight is probably my number 2, and I think my favorite fight in the game is probably Asriel Dreamer.
Yeah, especially with the theme in the background.
Yeah, it's just also a very good fight. It's both challenging and good. But guys, did you know that Asriel Dreamer is an anagram for serial murderer?
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness! I didn't know that!
Toby and his anagrams.
You guys, it reminds me. I'm assuming you guys haven't seen Toby's Twitter.
I see it every now and
I
then.
follow him on Twitter.
I remember he posted yesterday because as of the date of this recording, Undertale or Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 are out. But yesterday, Toby posted Deltarune tomorrow.
Which, we even get into what Deltarune tomorrow means, is a whole other thing. But
Years of pain for
the
someone
reason
named Connor.
the reason I say that is because for a bit there have been Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls, would respond to those tweets being like, wait, this is an anagram of this, I figured out the mystery. And then Toby would go like, heh, you figured out all along, Alex. And it's so funny.
Of course, it's the creator of Gravity Falls,
Like,
and also a shit poster.
like
No,
if
yeah,
I
also the shit posting like fucking what's it called? The type of like mystery thing that like people have to draw like real world conclusions for to like get.
you mean a mystery or an
Yeah, it's
ARG?
like, yeah, ARG. Of course, the other ARG motherfucker would do that.
But like he tweeted Deltarune tomorrow, and then Alex responded with something like, "Wait, Deltarune tomorrow is an anagram of torture a lewd moron. I figured it out. The mystery is solved." And then Toby just replied with like, "You finally figured it, Alex. Wait, no, this one's just wrong." They actually just talk like characters from the game. It's so funny.
It's so
Toby.
good. Never change. Never change, honestly.
Never change. But
Oh god.
Guy, you've already given your favorite fight. I've given my favorite fight. Brewer, what's your favorite fight?
That's a hard choice. There's a lot of really good ones. There's like some of the more charming fights in the beginning, where it's just like real simple attacks, and you're just trying to get through with a lot of the funny actions, like Papyrus that I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Then there are some pretty challenging fights, like Undying the Undying. Like, yeah, that was pretty tough.
Can I give a special shout out to Asgore's fight for having like just being very raw and aura heavy?
Yeah, I do like his fight. It's another one of the ones that like messes with your expectations as well, because in his fight, if you've been trying to just mercy everything throughout the entire game, he's one of the few characters that's not going to allow that. He just destroys the mercy button.
No, he literally just like fucking completely destroys at the start of the fight, and it completely breaks any
Yeah,
expectation.
well, that's personality changes real quick too, because he goes from like nice and friendly to I'm gonna murder you.
Yeah,
You're donezo, kid.
that's another reason why I love Asgore as a character. Like,
Yeah.
Oh man, there's so much to him. But yeah, I really just like I think the combat in this game is really well done, which is crazy because I think it's just straight up better in Deltarune with like the different things in place.
Yeah, well, especially in Undertale, genocide is an option, but they really the true ending is definitely the pacifist ending. I mean, Deltarune is still unfinished, so there's much to be guessed with it, but because your options don't matter, you can fight or you can pacify, but they try to make fighting feel like more of a viable option, because like you have special attacks with TP, and then also you have 3 party members in that game, so you have to manage 3 different attacks. Because Undertale's, it's just the bar slides over, get it to match in the center, and you'll do the most damage. And the effect may change if you have a different weapon equipped, but Deltarune does try to flesh it out a little more. Though I still think the charm of both systems is still through the act command.
Okay, I hate to be a nerd emoji here, but in La Deltarune there are consequences to killing and sparing.
Okay, I know there are some consequences, like you don't get Newbert to come to your party in Chapter 2. But compared to Undertale, and especially right now, with what they were trying to say with the first 2 chapters, keep in mind, 3 and 4 literally came out today, so I don't know context to those. Yeah, but besides not getting Newbert in Chapter 2 to come to your town, which is pretty sad, I'm not gonna lie, there's not really consequences.
Yeah. But I think, are we good to move to our concluding point?
I think so, yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Can I go last?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think you're the one who's probably has the most to say anyways. So that'd be fine. You want to go, Guy?
Oh yeah, sure. I have a very special place in my heart for Undertale. It is just such a magical game to me. It's so charming. The combat, though not like the like most mechanically driven, is really fun. It was really unique for the time as well. And I love like what it does with like its characters, its world, the puzzles, the combat, all of it. And honestly, there's no game like it, like any other. And I just like, obviously Deltarune is out, so that's not entirely true anymore, but it's still like so magical to me, man. Just how like they were able to like make such a good game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Was that your concluding point, Sky?
Yeah, I guess one last thing is if you haven't already, please play this game. It is really cheap. It's an indie game, so you'll be supporting an indie dev. Yay! But yeah, no, it's so good.
Yeah. I think one thing to add to your concluding points, one thing I really love about the game, more than just like what the game it is itself, is like with the success the game had, but also the way it was made. It is very inspirational for anyone that's like trying to make games, since a lot of people have based their games on like Undertale now, where I've gotten heavy inspiration from it. But with Toby not knowing how to like program for shit, which again he's self-admitted, that and a lot of parts of Undertale being so rough, seeing like just how successful it is and just how many people love it, because at his core he still had a great idea for a game and he still had a lot of love and passion into it, which made it so successful. That's just really inspiring for anyone that's aspiring to try to get into the industry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like you speak from experience, bro.
Maybe. Ooh, maybe I'll have it reveal for Fetch Quest someday. But yeah, I think for my actual concluding points beyond that little snippet is Undertale is a fantastic game. It's in a nice little package. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And again, it's just very charming. I love all the little pieces of dialogue you can get with the NPCs. If there feels like good reason to go and talk to all the NPCs in town, because all of them will have something fun to say. And I like all the battles too. The only thing I can really mark against it, which it doesn't really affect it because of its short length, is like, okay, some of the battles can get repetitive if you like already know the solution to how to solve a lot of fights, because the fights are kind of puzzles where you're figuring out what do I need to say to this guy to get him to not be angry anymore. Once you figure out what to say, it isn't as satisfying. But that's the thing though, it's a short experience, so you'll just be running through, and it is really fun just figuring out how to talk to all these different wacky characters. And then I really like the route choices, the combat's great, the music is outstanding, and once again, thank you Toby for letting anyone use it, since it's basically copyright free. Yeah, I think Alfred said before he wanted to use some of Toby's music, so we asked him, and then Toby was like, hey, so it's technically copyrighted, but if you just like recreate the song exactly the same in the free software I use, then yeah, you could use it. Which he did use the music. Yeah, which is very funny. But yeah, along with that, it's just a great game. I love the choice making in it as well. It was really, it's something you see a lot more common nowadays, but it was very unique for its time, and it still works great today if you play the game. So all in all, I highly recommend Undertale. There's not a lot I can critique with it, and some parts of it I can see obvious improvement of, especially like with pixel art and graphics, and like the game after Deltarune. So look forward to seeing more of Toby's work, especially because 3 and 4 came out today.
So real.
And now to Connor. Ooh.
All right.
Hi, Connor.
Hi, guy. So I really like Undertale. I think it has some of the best character writing, and just like writing in general for any game I've played. I think the humor is like just really well executed, and it honestly is just like a magical game to me. I absolutely love like every aspect of it, and I really struggle to find a flaw within it. And I just think it's an incredibly well-made game, especially for like what was many considered to be Toby's first ever like actual game. Not like a ROM hack, not like anything else. It like just full-on game, and I think it's, for this being his first try, I think he knocked that out of the park, and I think it's just incredibly well done. And I am an even bigger fan of Deltarune, and just everything that Toby does with that, and I'm just really glad I ever played this game, because I definitely wouldn't have gone as into indie games and just Toby's work in general without it. And as Brewer was saying earlier too, is like he's just a very big inspiration to me, and is probably one of my favorite just creators in the industry right now. And I'm very glad that he's still doing work and stuff like that. And I look very much forward to playing chapters 3 and 4 whenever I get the time, and I very much am looking forward to just seeing Deltarune when it's actually completed.
Really?
But that's probably my concluding thoughts. Play Undertale if you haven't. If you've not gotten spoiled, but please play it. It's a 10 out of 10 experience, and I really think anyone can enjoy it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah. Well,
But
that's the thing about what's up.
I was just gonna go into the outro, but
Go for it. Yeah, you go for it, Connor. You go for it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this very special episode. I've been very glad to talk about Undertale for an hour, and I hope you've been very glad to listen to that. And I think I can speak for everyone here when we say this game is great. And if you've enjoyed, make sure to act on that like button, and spare that subscribe button. And we have been the Fetch Quest Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and with that being said, goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Ah!